Hey guys, so this is a question that I get asked pretty often on some of my live streams here lately is can you embroider on a beanie that has been knitted on a Centro or an Addy knitting machine? So we are actually going to knit up a little swatch piece here real quick. We are going to be using my 48 pin Centro to do that. We are using a couple of just random skeins of the Just Yarn, the Premier Just Yarn. You can get this stuff at the Dollar Tree, and they have all kinds of different colors. But this has a nice feel to it. It's almost as soft and squishy feeling as Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn. So we're just going to use something that is comparable to make our beanie here. So first we are going to cast our yarn on, and then we will get started with the whole fun process. I myself have been watching several YouTube videos on figuring out how to do this. Now the beanies, especially the beanies that I make, they aren't like the brim. You don't fold the brim up. It's just it's a brimless beanie. So we are going to reset our counter here, and we're going to get to cranking out some rows. So I didn't have enough yarn, which is fine. This is just a test piece anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. At this point, we are only at like 55 rows, and I kind of want it to be, you know, around that 70 row mark, just because 75 rows, because I want to actually be able to make what would resemble a beanie at this point. So that is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to keep cranking with this color. Whoops, hello. We're going to keep cranking out this color, and if I have any, like, well, we have a drop stitch right here. Where are my stitch markers? So we'll fix this drop stitch real quick. And then move on from there. And I have it marked right here on my machine, where anytime I drop a stitch, or I have one of those nice nasty little double stitches or anything like that, I have it marked where it needs to stop so I can fix it. All right. I was hoping for just a plain and simple, quick and easy little job here, but that's not my life. If it was just a double stitch, I would have just left it, but since it's just a complete dropped stitch, I'm just going to go ahead and fix it here. I've actually, I have had my loom here for less than a month. It's very, very easy to learn. It's very easy to get the hang of. I've been asked, I've done a couple of lives with my loom here, and people do ask whether or not they need to have any crocheting or actual knitting background. Crochet background, yes, definitely, because you have to, it's just easier if you know what you're doing, but you don't have to, you can still learn. It's just going to be a little bit easier for you, and you'll catch on a little bit more quickly. And as for the actual knitting part, again, you'll catch on if you don't know. It's no big deal. I actually cannot knit to save my life, but I can crochet the crap out of some stuff. And I have regular looms too. And knowing how to use a regular loom where you use an actual loom pick, it does help if you know how to do that, but you don't necessarily have to know how to do it. It's no big deal if you don't. Maybe that wasn't a drop stitch. Maybe that was supposed to be there. Okay, whatever, it's fine. We fixed it, it's fine. So now on to cranking out some more rows. I'm just gonna go until I use all of this, and then we will cast off and make a proper little beanie out of it, and then we will move over to the embroidery machine and go from there. So we're gonna speed this next part up again, so I'll meet you back when we are done. Okay, so I'm just using the longest needle that came with my machine here. These machines, they will come with 3 different size needles and a crochet hook. I like using my own crochet hook because they're a little bit cheaper made, and sometimes they have a little barb on the end that will snag your yarn. And I got this at the Dollar Tree. I really liked this little thingy down here on the bottom. I thought it made it look cute, and I got these at the Dollar Tree. They've got like 6 different sizes, I think, and I think I've got like 3 sets of each size because I love these so much. I prefer those over like the high dollar metal ones, believe it or not. Okay, so now we are just going to cast off like normal here, and we're going to try not to drop any of these stitches. I always end up dropping at least 1 stitch while I'm casting off, but that's not something that is not fixable. It's not going to completely ruin your project, because again, this is going to be the top of the hat, or if this is going to be like the inside color or anything like that, that's how that would work. So just as long as you're a little more diligent with your stitching, it's not going to come apart. So don't worry if you're casting off and you drop a stitch. You can still fix it, just like we put the stitch on our crochet hook and fixed it. You can still fix it that way, or you know, sometimes I'll just take and I'll go back through the loop again, and get all of the loops and stuff, and then just do it that way. Because again, especially if you put a pom-pom on the top of your hat like most people do, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it at all. And like, I like to pick up stitches, a couple of stitches at a time like that. But that is actually when you tend to drop stitches. So I will always hold on to the stitch that is still on the loom that is next to the one that the last one that I just picked up, just to hold it down so it doesn't come off. And then make sure that you have a nice long tail, because yeah, I kind of messed up the other day and my yarn came off of my needle and everything just kind of went, and I actually did have to restart that one because it was just a lot more than what I wanted to fix. So just redoing the whole thing was going to be easier. But that's fine. It's okay. It's all good. But again, this is a craft that is very easy to learn, and it's quite fun and addicting at the same time. And you don't have to make just hats and scarves and ear warmers and stuff like that. You can make plushies and stuff with these too. There are a few good patterns out there on Etsy that you can make plushies. Okie dokie. So we are going to move this big thing out of the way. Maybe. I have to use it on my kitchen table because it suctions down better. My heater just kicked on and it's really loud. Alright, so we're going to stretch this out here and give it some good yanks. And since our needle's already in this end, we'll just go ahead and, well, it came out, that's fine, whatever. We'll go ahead and we'll just cinch this up. And again, this is just to be a test piece, so I'm not too worried about any imperfections in it. Like, we have a spot here and a spot over here. I'm not worried about it. It's just a test piece. And anytime you do any kind of projects, do a test piece. That's always a good rule of thumb. Do a test piece before you actually make the project. Especially, that's why I test out all of my embroidery designs and all that good stuff. You test first. I mean, even if it is a design that you have purchased, test it out first. That way you understand how it works. Because just because it's an embroidery design that is made by a reputable shop or what have you, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to understand what's going on. There's been a few times that I thought that I was just buying a design. I didn't realize that I was actually buying an applique design, and I was stitching it out for real, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Why would you do that? But then, upon further inspection, it was an applique design. So, inspect, inspect, inspect. we're going to pull those two pieces there really tight. We're not going to worry about putting anything on top, and especially if you hand make these, or if you make them on the loom like I just did, I would not put your pom-pom on until after you embroider on it, if that's what you're going to do, just because that pom-pom may potentially get in the way. I always like to tie my two colors together a couple of times, just to kind of hold everything in place, because we did just fold this piece together. That's all we did, we just folded it together. And we want to make sure that the inside stays up, essentially. And if I were going to put a pom-pom on this, I would leave a relatively long tail, but since this is just for demonstration purposes and it's not really for anything, I'm just gonna weave in these tails real quick. And I usually weave them in from the inside. So I send everything back through the hole at the top. And then I just kind of fish my needle between the two layers. And there we go, we're hidden. For the moment, anyway. Alright, so now that that's done, we're gonna pop this, whoops. Sometimes that happens too. And you do catch a little bit of that outside, but it's okay. Alright, so our beanie, the beanie portion of this program is done, and now I am going to pause and take you guys over to my embroidery machine. So, we will be embroidering when we come back. Okay, so here we are back at my machine. We are going to use, or we are going to attempt to use my 4x4 machine today, just because I want to see if this can be done on a 4x4. I know it can. I just want to see if I can do it. So let's talk first about what it is that we are going to need. Obviously, you're going to need your flash drive with your image on it. You're going to need whatever you're going to embroider on, which we just did this. So now you're going to need stabilizer. This is a tearaway stabilizer, and it is doubled over. So it is essentially going to be 2 sheets of tearaway stabilizer, and you're going to need water-soluble stabilizer. Now this water-soluble stabilizer does look like plastic wrap. It's really thick though, and it just dissolves really quickly in water. You can use press and seal. Glad press and seal. You can use this, but it is a bitch to pick out. I highly recommend just going ahead and saving yourself from pulling your hair out and getting the water soluble. Alright, so we're going to put our hat on the hoop. We have to hoop our hat. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. The hat has to be hooped. So I have not attempted to do this yet. This is a first time
everything. So you guys are going to be with me on this whole entire journey. All right, so we're going to hoop this damn hat. Oh, you're going to need little clamps too, because we have to maneuver the hat around. So I get these at the Dollar Tree. You can get these in like packages of like 6, I think. And they work really, really good. So we've got our stabilizer on here, and we're going to put our hat on here I'm only going to put it on here about halfway. If I sound breathless, I just came in from outside. I had to get my clamps out of my my tool chest that's on the porch from the last craft show that I went to. It's hella windy and freezing balls outside. So now we are going to hoop this sucker. This may actually be too thick. So I am going to try just floating the hat on there at this point, I think. Obviously, we still want a decent way down. We're about halfway, a little over halfway down. So this is 100% trial and error that you guys will get to see. If I fuck this up, I fuck this up. I'm not worried about it. So obviously we're going to fold the back of this so we don't catch any of the stitching on the back. You may need bigger clamps for that. I don't know. Again, we're just doing this as a test run. We're just going to see what is going to happen here. All right. We're going to go at this from the back. Make sure everything is all nice and secure in place. Okay, so we are not, I put that at the bottom. We are not at the bottom. Make sure the back of that is not going to catch on anything. Okay, so now we would put our water-soluble stabilizer on there. Need some scissors. And honestly, I don't know if I would put... I don't know if I would put anything on here. Yeah, I'm a tad flustered at the moment, because that hooping just really, really made me mad. So, okay. All right. I'm going to clamp that side down there. Probably needed a couple more clamps, but we're just going to kind of wing this at this point. We're winging it. We are winging it. Okay. So, I want to see where exactly this is going to be on our project here. No, I don't want to move you up. Okay, so it does need to go up a little bit. And that's as far as it'll go up. Oh, oakley dokley then. So pull this down a little bit more then. Okay. So we are just using one of my Feltie designs just because that is essentially our question here is, can a Feltie design be used as, can you use it to embroider on a beanie? So that is what we're going to do. And because I have a stitch beanie made up, ready to go, I really want to see if, the way that I digitize for Felties is going to work for this. And I don't see my stitch blue. That's because I moved it. Okay. So I am not going to stitch my, I'm not going to do my placement stitch. I probably should have already done my placement stitch. Probably. But for this, I'm not going to do my placement stitch. So let's cross our fingers here, and we're going to hope for the best. Yeah. Okay, so that is done. So now we will pull it off of our machine here. Assuming we can get the damn thing off. Okay. So here's the back. Looks just like it normally would. And then here's the front. We're gonna take a look at this here. So let's get our thingy here off. Our thingy, our hoop needs to come off. We're gonna move the machine back so we can tear this away back here. Again, I don't know if I would, yeah, this is definitely a little on the sketch side, the sketchy side of life. I don't know that I would use tearaway stabilizer. I probably would have used like a cutaway or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna trim up our little stitches here that are loose and flying about. Like these white jump stitches I'm not worried about. Because, like, if you stop and think about it, that's going to be up against somebody's head, so I don't like that. And we're going to do our best to get these jump stitches. And again, this is all trial and error. This is a lot of what I go through. What most creators go through when they bring you guys designs and stuff like that. It's trial and error. Okay, and because of those stitches, it is going to give some type of a perforation, so you can still tear away this water soluble. Let's see, where are my tweezers here? Again, this would be, it's water soluble. All I have to do is just get it wet, but it bothers me. Okay, so there we have it. Not, like I said, around the eyeball here. Oops, right there, it pulled. The nose is not normal. This eyeball is not normal. A lot of imperfections and what have you. And we're just going to let that sit there for a second. Where is... And see, it's just like jelly. It looks like snot. Okay, so my honest opinion, no, I would not use a Feltie design on a hat, but it is 100% doable to put said Feltie on the hat. It's possible, very possible, that you could do this as an applique of sorts. You would just kind of how you would put your water-soluble stabilizer. I forgot what it was called for a second. You put your water-soluble stabilizer down. You could put your felt on top of it. Possibly. I think it's going to be a good long while before I try doing this again, because it was a pain in the ass. I think I will just continue to put Felties on hats just like that. A little hot glue never hurt anybody. So, that is, I do believe, going to be the conclusion of our trial and error. Do I give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I give this 2 big thumbs down. Absolutely would not do this with a Feltie design. I would not do this with a design that is not embroidered or not digitized to be embroidered this way. So, I hope that answers some of your questions. If not, I hope you just enjoyed this epic fail of a video. So, join me on my live streams on TikTok. I stream from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. just about every day. Except the weekends. I don't do the weekends because the weekends are my time. Join my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. All of it is linked in my bio on every single one of my social media platforms. Instagram, all that good stuff. Let's sneeze. Excuse me. So yeah. Like all of the likes. Follow all the follows. You can give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Be nice in your commenting. This was not a how-to. This was a what's gonna happen if kind of video. So, until then, I will see everybody on whatever social media platform I am on at the time. And happy crafting!